All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, because everybody in the world now is on the internet. Welcome to the Ed Namrok podcast for shits and giggles and for more shits and giggles. That's a beautiful intro. I'm joined by Mr. Sychosane Jaime Salas. What's up, brother?
How's it going, nigger?
It's fucking going, man. A lot of shit going on in the world.
A lot of heavy breathing in this mic here. I just want to say hello, hey.
You know what's funny is a lot of people immediately got my attention with this first thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I'm like, fuck, maybe it was either you or somebody else I wanted to talk to about, but you more so than ever because of the shit that I've seen you do with martial arts. There's this I think it's Total Extreme Championship or Total Extreme Fighting. I forgot what league it is. But the event was held in Dublin, Ireland. And one of Conor McGregor's teammates fought this Portuguese Brazilian guy named João Carvalho. And fuck Jaime, he fucking died. He died after the stoppage, man. And McGregor said something about, he offered condolences to the family and whatnot, but fuck, dude. I mean, I've been around many sports and predominantly the more American ones, I guess.
Like more America.
Yeah, like baseball, basketball, and football. And I know now mixed martial arts has been more of a staple for this country in particular. But when I hear about something like this shit, dude, I'm like, it's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time before we see that shit on Fox Sports 1 or something, dude.
You see it on something that's nationwide, that's mainstream, that's in your face. Let me sell you some popcorn. Let me get you some marketing space. Oh shit.
Yeah.
We just broadcast someone die in a ring.
Dude, that I'm just waiting for it. I mean, for Christ's sakes, dude, like, I mean, I watched WrestleMania a couple weeks ago, and I thought what Shane McMahon, I mean, I talked about it in the previous podcast, but I thought what Shane McMahon did was absolutely fucking insane. And to do that in front of your 3 children that are sitting in the front row to come watch you perform. I mean, I remember when Undertaker threw Mankind off the Hell in a Cell.
I remember that match.
Jesus,
I remember, man. If that's not the same one where he hits those tables, and they put a camera right in his face, and if I'm not mistaken, he's got one of his teeth that have come out through his nose from where he's lobbed his head on this table.
Yeah, you saw right, man. I mean, that's not even the thick of it apparently, because they were going, I think it was Beyond the Mat, that one documentary that they shot.
That's right. I seen that.
Apparently,
that was Netflix, I think, at one point.
Well, I think it made its way to Netflix, but eventually they interviewed the Undertaker, asking him about how that whole entire sequence of fucking madness happened, and he said, it's just Mick Foley. He's sick. He wanted me to do that, so I said, okay, here you go. There's this one part where he choke slams him through the hell in the cell, through the cell, and lands
through one of the weak middle parts, not where the poles are, but right in the middle where it's given.
You remember that, and the way he falls, he thought for sure he killed him.
He stands over, if I remember right, he stands over and he looks down, and he's just kind of looking, going, did I just end one of my brother's not only career, but did I just make this guy's family have to make some horrible calls and decisions later on how to bury this motherfucker?
Precisely.
He falls, and I seen the way he fell. And I know you mentioned that, you know, like some of the things I've done through martial arts. But one of the things I used to do when I was younger was Um, I would jump off of roofs. I'd ride bikes and jump off the bikes. I would purposely get hit by cars for the pure kind of adrenaline of it.
Right.
And one thing is when you fall, you need to know how you're going to land, and you need to land flush. You need to take that bump, like in wrestling, pro wrestling. There's the bump you got to take the right way. And I remember when he falls through that, he hits it, and his body is like it's tweaked at a weird angle when he hits it. His legs look like they're to the left, and his body's to the right, and he just this weird little compression twist when he hits the mat, and it was not pretty. It was the unprettier.
Yeah, it was something that I know for a fact is not a normal, not even a stunt fall, because I know professional wrestlers are known to be decorated stuntmen. They just have all the glamour and glitz and personality to go with it. Well, some, not all, but the good ones at least do.
Yeah, like you've said it before that they're like acting gymnastics, they're acrobatics, they're acrobats, they're gymnasts. And the good ones are the ones that can fall right and that can fly right. But even the ones that can't do it so much, those are the ones that are the gluttons for pain. They don't have that big yoked out, steroided out looking type of body, but they'll take the pain. They don't care. They want to put that show on. They want to show and give that the people their money's worth, and keep the fans and give them something to remember.
Yeah.
And that's what Mick Foley reminded me of, man. Always.
Yeah,
hit me with a steamroller, freaking hit me with a popcorn machine, stick this in the side of me. I don't care. Barbed wire. Well, muchas gracias, por favor. Give me some more.
Yeah, I remember. I forgot which. I forgot what. I think it was the first time I ever see something like that get televised, and I thought for sure either A, they died, or B, they're never gonna walk again. Was when I think it was Jeff Hardy. He that signature swanton bomb he used to do.
Is it the one where he's at the top of the ladder and he just does kind of like a front somersault and lands on him, or the one where he does a twist off of the top turnbuckle?
No, not the twist one. The one where he actually kind of like he kind of sticks his neck, he flips over and he lands on it. I remember one particular, those crazy ass tables, ladders, and chair matches. Those TLC matches were fucking deadly, man.
I remember those.
Most of those guys now are not. I mean, with the exception of the Dudley Boys, I mean, they're still wrestling, but fuck, man, some of those guys should be dead, man. Seriously. But fuck, man, what I'm ultimately getting at is that. All right, I think we've been so close to almost watching someone die on national television or pay-per-view, and who's to say, dude? Like this thing with Joe Carvalho. Who's to say? Well, what if this was televised, dude? And I'm pretty sure it was probably in Dublin because it's a small league. Fuck, man, is it only a matter of time before we see that shit here publicly? That's what I'm getting at, man. Because, all right, well, which brings me to this. I'm gonna show you the video. Check it out, dude. Let me know if you think it's an early stoppage. I'm pretty sure you can hear the audio.
Yeah, let me check this right now.
But I mean, it looks like a normal, MMA fight, and then, I think it was like 20 to 30 minutes later, he had to get rushed to the hospital and put in the ICU. That shit was. I mean, I know a lot of fighters and professional athletes that they have been through that stuff, but this guy actually he succumbed to his injuries, man.
Yeah, there's something about head injuries that are really weird. I mean, it can be the insta death. It can be memory problems. It could be a number of things, but I mean, that 30 minutes after to have to go in and then just pass away. I don't know. I've never heard of it except for motorcycle accidents, car accidents, commercial equipment hitting somebody the wrong way. But I mean, you want me to watch this right now?
Yeah, go ahead, dude. Check this out. You let me know if the referee did his job. I'm saying he did, but you be the judge.
Let's see there. All right. Got in a clinch right here. It's good. I've never little inside punches, stuff like that, dirty little dirty fighting, stamping, stomping.
Yeah, it was a good bout. I mean, they watched most of the fight on YouTube because a lot of people were filming.
Oh shit! Okay, hold on.
All right.
Yeah, he's already hit him a couple damn times. Okay, he's on the floor and he's just getting wailed on. He looks out of it.
Yeah, it looks like a normal stoppage, right?
It looks like a normal stoppage. I think I've seen fights go on longer than that, to where you're like, the guy's face is falling off. Do you want to step in there and maybe put that back on him and call the fight?
Yeah, like the time I seen, I think it was Brock Lesnar against Frank Mir the second time. Brock was just, yeah, dude, he was about to smash his face in. And I think it was one of the refs for UFC that I think he eventually got fired because his stoppages were just bad. I think it was the first Brock Lesnar Frank Mir match that referee docked Brock Lesnar for hitting in the back of the head when it wasn't even intentional. It happened on accident because Frank Mir moved his head. So it's shit like that is bad refereeing. But this to me is just a fucking freak accident, man.
Well, what I was looking at is that when he gets hit, they come out of the clinch, he gets hit across the face, he stumbles back. You notice his footing's off. His opponent comes in, he goes to finish him. He's making sure that he doesn't get caught, so he's not gonna, oh, he's shaky, I'm gonna back up and give him a chance to recover. You're gonna go finish the guy. You're gonna walk in there like Vanderlei Silva and just lay your heavy hands on him.
Yeah, man.
Now he goes in there, he moves in, takes him down to the ground a little bit, and I mean, he's turtled up. That's the thing. The guy's turtled up. And even that position, you have a chance to catch your breath and maybe defend yourself. He had his right hand up. He was still protecting his head. There is a chance that he could, bust out of there, do a quick switch, get out, turn into a grappling match, but he didn't. And I mean, you do notice that he looks up, at least in the video, the clip you showed me here. He looks up over at his corner, or at least where the camera's looking, and the guy looks like he's looking 1,000 yards away. He's not present at that moment. But I mean, aside from a knockout, from being knocked out, from having that your brain hit this inside of your skull and your body sends you into shock and turns you off so you don't damage yourself anymore. If you're still standing and moving around, you don't know what type of damage is going to go on there. You can continue to take it, but if he was out limp, then they definitely would have stopped it sooner. I don't see any fault on the ref in that. Everyone's going to have their opinion and say, oh, he let it go too long, or he could have let it go longer. But at least no one's going to say that he could have let it go longer at this point because bro died. Bro, he passed away. What are you going to do?
Yeah, and I think that's the only reason why people was subject themselves to criticizing the referee was it because of him, the referee not stopping the fight earlier, that was the cause of death. But man, it could happen in a lot of ways, man. Like, for example, the Bellator fight that happened just recently between Kimbo Slice and that guy Dada 5000. Did you hear about that one?
I heard about that one. I remember seeing the posters, the marketing for it.
Right.
Tell me, did you see that fight?
I did, and it looked like Dada 5000 was just like on a fried chicken, fucking bread and beer binge, just winded in that fight, dude.
Okay, I've never heard of this fighter. He's not a robot, correct?
No, exactly. The
Data
fuck, his fucking
5000.
name sounds like
Okay.
a goddamn robot.
He was not the bad guy in RoboCop 4
No, liquid
coming this
metal,
summer 2016.
liquid metal
All right.
T1000.
All right, cool. So he looked like he visited Popeye's Chicken right before, you're
Dude, he
saying?
looked like he went on a fucking hometown buffet binge, dude. I mean, the guy wasn't decent, I guess, fat shape.
Oh, okay.
He's a
Okay.
heavyweight.
He's a fat.
Yeah,
He's in the weight class, but it's like once you're certain heavyweight, you could just go on forever heavyweight, just as long as you're not
exactly.
20 feet tall or something.
Precisely. The
Yeah.
guy's 38. Kimbo's like, I think in his early 40s. I guess this guy Dada is like his Florida rival from when Kimbo Slice was in the street fighting circuit, I guess you could say.
I loved watching him fight.
Dude,
I loved
he
watching
was
that
incredible, man. It's because of that I grew to love Kimbo.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But then when he went to mixed martial arts, I'm like, yeah, dude. I remember one fight he had in his YouTube videos was against an MMA fighter, that dude Gannon. And this dude Gannon just rolled him, dude. He winded him out, took some shots from Kimbo, but he fucked his ass up.
I know you said that he winded him out, but honestly, I mean that was like Kimbo was a dually and he grabbed what was in the ashtray of change to put gas in.
Exactly.
And he's like, all right, we're leaving from California, going to make it to South Dakota. Like there's no way. That guy reminds me like and just to compare like a Tank Abbott, like a big dude who throws heavy hands, who doesn't have the necessarily the body type. Even Kimbo did. Kimbo's cut. Kimbo's huge. He's got those hands. But you're that guy. Do not expect him to go long at all. The bigger you are, the more energy and oxygen you need to take that. Big guy's going to waste himself out quicker, and all you got to do is outlast that guy. And if he has no ground game, he doesn't know what to expect from there. You're going to wind him out. Just sit on him, put your body weight on him. That's it. That's all you got to do. And I think we've seen it a couple times, man. He's like, boom, heavy. Go to the chin, go to the body, looking good. Round 2, covered in sweat, just barely walking out. His hands are already getting low, and he gets taken down. That's it. It's over. He had to think about that, and I don't know. I don't know if I remember if there were any of the the South Florida fights or anything I saw on YouTube where someone gets knocked down, they let him go. They always stand him up. Stand up. Stand up. You ready to go again? Stand up. All right. Boom. He'd knock him back down. He'd only fight for like 5 minutes at the most.
Exactly. That's why when he went into professional mixed martial arts, he had to kind of unlearn what he already knew.
Yeah.
But
big personality and whatever hype and media connections he was making before. I mean, he was the right cat in there. It's just, I don't know if it was the right age to like you said, to start to jump in there and say, forget everything you know about the type of fighting you've been successful at. Now we're going to put you in something else. Obviously he was a great boxer, but they didn't put him in boxing. Why not? Probably because they said, jump this rope. He goes, I'm tired. Like, dude, I didn't hand you the rope. He's like, I'm tired. Let me go comb my beard. Let me go find some Rogaine. Okay. I need to go massage my hands. They fucking hurt.
Yep.
That's my Kimbo. And I'm happy because every time they interview him or talk to him, man, I love the guy. I just see him. God, you're like a big bear. I love you. Like, come on. Punch Frank Mir in the face. Just hit people. Just hit people. Just fucking hit people. I don't care.
And I didn't even know he was a dad for the longest time. I didn't know he was a dad. But anyway, this guy Dada 5000, his real name is like Defear or something like that, Dafir or whatever. He suffered cardiac arrest following the fight. Apparently,
What?
He was resuscitated and rushed to a local hospital. He had high levels of potassium in his blood because he had to cut 40 pounds to reach the 265-pound heavyweight maximum in Bellator. And all that all that potassium in his blood led to severe dehydration, fatigue, and renal failure, which is kidney failure, pretty much.
This guy won the fight?
No, he lost.
Okay,
He
okay.
got
I'm just
TKO'd
checking.
by Kimbo in the third round, and they went 3 rounds in a
Okay, okay, okay.
non-title fight.
It would
And
surprise me if you were going to tell me that he won, because you're telling me he cut 40 pounds. I could tell you right now that guy was not going to be anywhere near his A game.
yeah,
No way. There's no way.
I mean that's a lot, dude. That's a lot of weight. Um, I don't think that's safe. I remember fucking Carlos Condit talking about how he did it completely wrong the first couple of years of his professional career, but just stop eating. I'm like, how the fuck can you just stop eating, man? Like, oh man, like fuck no, dude. That's just not. No, man.
You gotta. I mean, I claim to be no expert in nutrition or anything like that, but your body, I mean, in some way does eat itself if you're starving. I mean, it uses all of its fat resources and minerals and vitamins, and at some point, if you're not eating, you're taking up, like, I don't know, parts of your hemoglobin, and you're taking out the fat that lines your brain. And I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying, at some point, your body starts to use, in some physical capacity, only what it has. You're eating
Right.
bone calcium. You're eating, um, just different anything that's in your body that's to run through it to keep it alive. You're going to start eating it. Tendons, weakness, elasticity. That's all going to just degrade yourself. So when you get in there to actually start and push your body to a pro athlete, pro MMA athlete that has to not only stand and have fast cardio, but also stretch and be limber, dude, you're not going to be able to last long. And if you're able to pull it off, it's going to be for a short amount of time until your heart says, fuck you, you are time to go to sleep. I'm going to turn your body off because you do not know how to handle me.
Exactly.
I remember in high school, the wrestling team, it was the huge thing. Over, where is it? The Rolling Hills Diamond Bar.
Oh wow.
Wrestling team was great. CIF champions. They, we got huge guys, we got small guys. Yeah, we got all kinds of guys trying to lose weight, trying to lift weight. And these guys are walking around with a little cup in their hands, sucking rocks, spitting in a cup, wearing sweaters, running, not eating. They all look like they just have been on a 2-week fucking meth binge. They're not making sense. Some of them are shaking. And I'm all, you're supposed to go fight tonight? They're like, yeah, we got the big game, the big championship tonight. I got to fight the guys from Ayala. I'm like, dude, you need to eat a Snickers bar because you need to chill the fuck out. You look like death. There's no way that this is going to prolong any type of professional career that you hope to have. If you're treating your body like this, remember, even if you become very successful in your sport, at some point your it's going to catch up until you remember all that bullshit you pulled between the ages of 15 and 30. Yeah, you're going to have trouble shitting for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
You're not going to be able to get up out of a chair and use your knees, motherfucker. Strap on these and you'd be like Stone Cold. What? I can't use my legs? Yeah, you can't, because you fucked your shit up when you were a kid. For what? For what purpose? I mean, the money's important. I think that's the other thing. It's the money. It's to get that name. It's to get that fame.
It's a whole syndication thing that people kept talking about.
Brand yourself, man, and then you kind of sell it off like that. But that's your body, man. You're gonna be old at some point, and the only other person I can think of that reminds me of that, someone at their older age, and it's just like, well, I don't know if it's from getting hit in the head a lot, but do you remember what is it, Leon Spinks?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
What the fuck, dude? Like, oh, is that from getting hit? Is that just how you talk? But I feel something about getting hit in the head multiple times throughout your life had something to do with that.
I'm almost positive he's permanently punch drunk, and the guy is, I think, only like in his early 60s or something like that.
Yeah, man.
And he's missing teeth, I think. Well, I mean, he has fake teeth now in the front, but like him, I don't know so much about Larry Holmes. I know he has a son named Corey. And then, then the other guys like Ken Norton, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier. I mean, Muhammad Ali, obviously, we know what's going on with him,
Right. But
but and I think even Floyd Mayweather's Jr.'s dad, Floyd Mayweather, Mayweather Sr., I think he's
oh,
pretty punch drunk, dude.
dude, I've seen him training different cats, and same thing. The having a conversation and listen to him, it's a little iffy. It's a little iffy. Even myself, like I said, all the stupid shit that I did when I was young. I have 3 cars. I have a video somewhere I have to show you to Edgar. There's
Oh,
a video of
nice.
me getting hit by a white Nissan truck
Oh,
that
wow. Are you
um,
kidding me?
no, it was for a sophomore English project. I made this whole video and it says how to do stunts in movies. I set up martial arts moves, throws, how to break fall. The depth perception that a camera can't catch. So it looks like you're making contact. And then the grand finale was I'm going to have my mom drive a truck into me, and everything was planned. She went down the street. She came at me at about 30 miles an hour, and I
Oh
was
my God.
running at the truck. I planned to hit the front of the hood, do a full ukemi roll over the top, and land into the bed. But I needed her to keep the momentum up. She came up and she saw her son last second, slammed on the brakes, and I went into the windshield, smashing it with my back, hyperextending my knee, and I walked away from it. But I'm pretty sure when I was 20 years old, I spoke more eloquently than I do now. There's got to be some type of brain damage or something that I've been affected by from all the stupid shit that I did. That's only one of the 3 cars I've been hit by on purpose.
Well, I mean, I think, granted, um, I take for example, professional football players.
Oh my
They've
gosh.
done studies on that. I mean, of course, now there's a movie that kind of manifested from all this research and uh, medical breakthroughs and I guess fucking medical uh tragedies. The Will Smith movie Concussion, I don't know if you've seen it.
I have not.
Um I didn't finish watching it because of work at one point, but I was mad because I'm like, fuck, I need to watch the rest of this movie. But in a way, I'm just like, fuck, man, like a lot of us that either had part in a full contact sport, um, like martial arts, and including like wrestling, um, and football. Fuck, man, like I'm almost positive that there has to be some type of brain damage done when you not. And I'm not just saying partaking in those sports. I'm talking about competing and trying to get to a high level in those sports.
By hitting people as hard and as fast as you can to get noticed to get to that high
Oh
level.
man, dude, when I played high school football, yeah, I had my share of, not improper tackling and whatnot. As soon as I got to I played Division 3 college ball in Whittier. As soon as I got to that level of competition, and that was only a Division 3 out of a division, top division being a Division 1.
Yeah.
These were grown men looking to really hurt you. And I felt that. I felt a new fear that I've never felt before. I'm like, holy shit, these guys are genuinely trying to end my career.
Edgar, that scares the piss out of me because I would never want to ever run at you with any intention of making physical contact with your ass. You are fucking huge, and I don't mean that in like maybe stop munching. No, you are a scary individual to run towards.
And check this out. I was maybe like 3/4 of an inch shorter. Um, I played defense. I played quarterback. But what grabbed a lot of college's attention was that I was the long snapper on special teams on punt team, and no one was whipping a ball like I was in the area that I was playing in at the time in Montebello. So they're like, okay, who is this kid who's this teenager that is long snapping like he belongs in the Division I college football team. And it was because I nailed down the techniques. So I wasn't that big. I wasn't that strong. I mean, I was a decent size, but I wasn't fucking, I wasn't an ox. I just knew how to do it and how to correctly place my body. And, I took my share of fucking licks, dude. But when I got to college, they're like, okay, you're only going to play quarterback. I was the same height. I was maybe like 35 pounds lighter than I am now. And I was one of the smallest dudes, man.
You were a small guy?
I was one of the kind of like a, I was considered normal size for a college athlete that can possibly play at the professional level
I don't
if
know. I don't know if
everything went
anyone's
right.
listening, but this guy, I hug this guy, and I'm like eye to eye with his nipples. It's just not a small guy we're talking about. Maybe I'm short, but believe everything that you're saying. Jesus.
The offensive lineman that I would have to, you know, delegate plays, motivate them, get them to do what I needed them to do to, I mean, I hate to say it because it's a very selfish position to make me look good, basically.
Right.
But everyone knows that professional football, a lot of it is, quarterback centric because of the syndication that goes, especially if you're really good, then you know the rest is history, man. I mean, time and time again, that cycle will never stop. That's just going to keep going. But the point being is, okay, I was getting to that level where I was like, okay, this is a whole different level of competition. It's like okay, when I took judo as a teenager, um, over at Tenri in Boyle Heights, and then I saw one of my buddies named PJ. PJ compete in a very I forgot, I think he was already, forgot what belt he was in judo, but he already went to a competition, and I seen the people there competing. I was like, holy shit, like these guys were destroyed, these guys would kill me, dude. And then I mean, that's how I knew who Ronda Rousey was, because she was one of the, dude, she's a Venice girl, dude. She was one of the best judokas like in the West Coast, dude. If
Honda
not,
Housey.
dude, Honda Housey.
Honda Housey, man.
I respect.
Yeah, you gotta show respect. Jeez.
I respect.
Well, she like the way you're describing how you got the technique down to snap the ball the way you do. Same thing. I think she really understood the technique behind it, because she's lifting grown ass dinosaurs off their feet, taking the T-Rex down to the ground.
Well, a lot of it is physics too, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it took for me to take a fucking science class in high school to realize, hey, you don't have to really be that strong. I mean, you have to
Yeah.
have some form of strength. You got to be somewhat strong to execute the stuff that you need to do, especially if you have to push some weight.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that high school level of sports in general, because I was also in track and field. I threw the shot put in the discus. When I got to the college level, I was like, holy shit, this is a whole different level of motherfucker, man. That's when I saw people take steroids. I saw people smoke meth to run faster, to hit harder. I was just like, wait a minute, like, you know,
Damn,
for
man.
those of you listening, man, your boy Ed Namrok here was a virgin until he was 20. So that goes to show you how fucking I'm not saying I was a saint or a fucking angel, but how oblivious I was to a lot of things. I thought the worst thing I ever did was smoke a joint in high school. I thought that was it. I was buying
You're
my
condemned. You're
buying
done.
my one way ticket to fucking hell, and Satan was in the VIP section with
Oh yeah.
with bottle service.
You know the term. You're gonna go to pot now. It just means duh, dude.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, anyway, the level of competition in any sport, like I would walk into the wrestling room at Whittier College where I was going, and I seen these dudes just like, yeah, it looked dangerous. Something like I said, it was a newfound fear that I saw. I'm like, okay, these guys are not only in it to win it, but they'll do anything to you to get to where they want and not have any remorse for it because they have their eye on on the prize, and they have not, I wouldn't call it intent. They have malicious intent, man. They'll hurt you to get to where they want to go.
Jesus.
Yeah, so
Just to remind, like you walking in there like an American, you try to smuggle out drugs through Brazil, and you got caught. Now you're in a Brazil prison, and you're sitting there like, everybody in here wants to kill me just because, not because they want out, just because. And tell me, was that how you felt, Edgar?
yes,
Oh man,
it felt like fucking Eddie Murphy in Trading Places when he sees those two black guys in there with him, dude.
jeez,
It was like that.
you worry.
But
Damn, man.
yeah, man. So I mean, rest in peace, Joe Carvalho, man. It's tragic that shit happened. I just
Yeah, man, respect, man. I mean, any fighter that gets into it knows at some point, especially ones that fight. I think that fight in MMA and go full contact, not necessarily MMA, but full contact, man. Myself, I fought a lot when I was young. When I was a kid, I'd fight anybody that wanted to, just to put, either bravado or styles together. I've got chipped teeth. I've got a bad back. I've got messed up hands from just stupid shit all my life. But when you get into that moment, you know that there's a chance you can get seriously fucked up. And if the person on the other end has that malicious intent, man, they might not stop when you're done and on the floor. But I think a lot of times that warrior spirit knows that, and almost like samurai, the greatest thing is to die in battle and to go out there and just you give all and you expect it. You hope it doesn't happen, but it's a realization. It's there. But I give the warriors the respect, especially those that pass, even if it's not supposed to go to the death, man. All respect to them.
yeah. I mean, when I got the news, I think I got the alert on my phone, um, with the Bleacher Report app because I'm loyal to Bleacher Report since the beginning of their fucking startup.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, I just think that's fucking tragic, dude. Fucking tragic. And well, I mean, I wanted to talk to you about that because I know it's a bit morbid, but fuck, man.
Oh, I'm morbid. Bring it up, man.
Dude, I'm almost positive that I'm like, it's only a matter of time before we're gonna watch this shit on Fox Sports One, on Fox, on Spike TV. I don't know where, dude.
Let me ask
Something's
you a
gonna
quick
happen.
question about that. There's have you noticed anything online, the different type of there's like we have K1 and you have Pride and then you have UFC. There's different divisions or different like brands. And there was one in particular that was having like 8 guys versus everybody at the same time, fighting each other. And then not only that, but they're also on in a fucking American Gladiator obstacle course while they're fighting. Have you seen a clip of that?
Yes, I think it's in Russia, if I'm not mistaken.
So I guess my question is, so you've seen it. You're saying, at some point it's going to be on Spike, it's going to be broadcast in that manner. Do you think that that is some type of intention of some of these brands to bring an actual, as close to death? If I'm not even, afraid to say that they want to see maybe a death or two happen on there, and they can always use their PR to say, "Oh, we're deeply saddened, and we don't really expect this to happen, but it can." But they really know that people are watching that to see if it does. I mean, come on, American Gladiator course with 8 guys versus each other. You don't think someone's gonna fuck their neck up or break limbs almost every time? Yeah.
Dude, you took the words right out of my fucking mouth because it's exactly what I think we're preparing. Everyone's being conditioned right now,
Mhm.
at least in this country, for sure. They're being
Yeah.
conditioned to kind of get a little bit desensitized to expect something more intense, more more implosive, more eclectic. It's gonna be like American Ninja Warrior, but with fists and kicks and chokes, dude. That's what's gonna happen, and some serious injuries are gonna take place. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure the public's gonna be like, "Oh shit! Like this is new. This is more violent." Um. So I mean, I feel guilty sometimes when I watch, UFC with my son because he's watching it. But I'm like, okay, I'm not alone. I'm just in line with like everyone else, but I'm not. My intent is like, okay, I'm just having him watch a combat sport. But then again, I'm like, well, what's the difference if I have him watch football? And I'm really passionate about football, and that's just as bad. Everyone thinks, oh well, mixed martial arts is a true contact sport. I'm like, well, it's two different things, but the bottom line is it's still two fucking humans wanting to beat the shit out of each other.
I always think the idea is, I mean, just the way that I think about it, it's as long as you can put some type of, I would say, an arena or a platform for people to do something at, and then you give them certain type of rules. It's still just like you said, two guys trying to beat the shit out of each other. And early in the UFC days, and let's go back even further. Let's go back to gladiators fighting each other. Sorry, I'm all remembering Gladiator because fucking Russell Crowe was on SNL
Yeah,
recently.
man.
All right, but you go into this arena where somebody at the top has paid someone to get these people to kill each other in front of a crowd, and the only rules are kill the other person. Now we're going to just throw some more sensationalism into it by adding tigers, and someone's going to be shooting you in the face with a super soaker, and we're going to tie one arm to your leg. It's just, I mean, how long before it gets to that? And I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be so mainstream that it's available on Spike or it's available on Fox Sports Net. If you have like a basic cable subscription, it's going to be a pay-per-view. It's going to be a deep web thing. It's going to be somewhere where you have to go seek it. No people can get you to it. But I believe that it exists already, that there's already an arena, a forum, a place where people are put in a room and they don't care about TV. They want to make that buck. And even the people that are there against each other to kill each other are there to for some purpose, make some money, save their family. They're putting these people in these extremes. It may sound a little bit, conspiracy theory or whatnot, but there's money in that. People want to see this violence because we're conditioned to already see it. But you may feel bad, having the, your boy watching it with you. But when I see two people fight, and I've been in a couple different fights with people I care about, and then people I don't necessarily care about. The ones that I've kept with, and we've had, full on slug fights. When you're done, man, that person deeper. You forgive. If you're a truly malicious person, then you might do something worse. But at the end of the fight, if you're a kind person, you can still help that other person up. You can still have a conversation with them. There is some redemption in hand-to-hand combat, man. Because one of the biggest political, topics, it's gun control. It's, weapons, arming everybody, disarming everybody.
Right.
Well, hand to hand, man, you strip everything away. You got two guys wearing a pair of shorts and some freaking cushions on their hands, settling their scores, if that's the case. But both men walk away. I don't mean to sound like freaking it's just Friday or anything, but I love fighting in that respect. Dude, I don't like what you said. You don't like what I said? What are you gonna do about it? Let's talk. All right, let's talk. Talking ain't gonna work. I'm still mad. Good. And the scuffle's over. You know what? It really wasn't that important anymore. You're right. All right, let's keep going on with our lives. That bullshit's over. That next thing could be ice cream or whatever it needs to be, man. Life, the next part.
Well, now it's not fucking ice cream. It's guns and knives and driving by homeboy or homegirl's house and throwing a shovel at her head or some shit.
Yeah, that is bullshit. Those are the malicious people. Yeah, malicious people, and there's still part of us, man. There's some part of us that, we see something we don't like, man. It's because there's something in us that we relate. It resonates a little bit with us. Something we don't like about it. That's always try to find out what that is. But I don't want to be malicious myself. So I hope that energy goes out and I never run into that motherfucker. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've had my share of fights, man. But I mean, I'm sure you had. Did you get bullied too as a kid?
I did get bullied. A lot. I got threatened by.
Until you fought back, right?
Yeah, I got threatened like seventh grade. I got threatened by the local gang in that area over in like I don't know what gangs were hanging out in like Diamond Bar or Walnut. It's like it's a rich, nice area, and everybody's there's plants and there's rolling hills and
Yeah.
there's a post office across the street. I mean, but no, I had some gang came up and they told me blah blah blah. Don't you mess with us? Pushed me up against the locker. I didn't think about it till one of their friends wanted to come in my face and say he was going to kick my ass in front of everybody. And he brought 30 people with him to come watch him kick my ass. And he didn't know that I not only watched Power Rangers for its wonderful acting and Kimberly, but I watched it because there's martial arts in it. And I already took martial arts. And I came from a place where my mother told me, look, don't you start fights. If you start a fight, you're in trouble. If someone starts a fight with you, you finish it. You won't be in trouble. This guy came up. The pressure was on. I kicked him in the leg. He looked down like he was like gonna summon up his Hami Ha and destroy me. But his face was down, so I just took his head off with my right hand. And no one fucked with me for the rest of my life, essentially. Every fight after that was about defining my skill, letting other people challenge their skill. And at the end, we shook hands. We became friends. That's what was important to me. I was never afraid to lose a fight after that. Not because I think I can beat anybody, but just because I don't want to get bullied, but I really want to keep fighting just because I get to know who that person is. That's it for me.
Yeah.
Did you get bullied? Freaking, you're like a giant, bro.
No, man. You should see early pictures of me. I mean, I was lanky and skinny, but I was pretty, I've always been tall, but, and I believe it was probably seventh grade.
Magic number, bro.
Yeah, man. I was in PE class and there was this little tagger, seventh grade tagger. I forgot what the crew name was, but he took a liking to pick on me. I'm like, dude, I don't want to. My mom said, you get in trouble, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. I'm like, fuck, man, that's the last person I want to mess with, right?
Don't mess with mom, dude. That's
no,
it.
Especially my mom in particular. I mean, I'm sure everyone has as crazy stories about their mothers, but I've seen my mom. When you see your mom do crazy shit, then you know she's for real. When she does it in front of you too.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We should have an entire different podcast about all the crazy shit my Mexican mother did to me.
Dude,
and not that she's crazy, nothing. I love her. She did nothing wrong. Everything was discipline. I'm just telling you everything I imagined she could do to me just out of the fear. And we should talk about that later.
I'll just give you one example of how crazy my mom was.
Go for it.
My mom managed and served at fucking, crazy ass bars all over LA and fucking Boy Heights and East LA. If she served a group of women or a woman, whatever, and she didn't get tipped, and she saw the girl or the lady go to the restroom or outside, she would literally clock out or whatever, follow them out and beat the shit out of them, dude. She took it as complete disrespect, especially if they were acting like a bit. Because my mom's a fucking sweetheart, man. My mom is. She's true customer service. I mean, she's a caretaker now to this day, but her early 20s. My mom had me when she was only 17. Dude, my mom was a walking ticking time bomb, man.
Dude, you were saying that your mom was always taking care of someone.
Always.
She was always taking care of someone.
Always. One way or the other.
Dude, that's a beautiful thing. And when I hear that, a Mexican mom?
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. No, I know the story on this side, Mexican mom too. My mom's telling me stories growing up in high school. She used to hang around with her cousins and her friends. And the one story I just remember was she said that one girl just kept picking on her in high school. I think she said it was her sophomore year. It's weird how she remembers this stuff. Her sophomore year, she got jumped. They followed her out into the field over there in Duarte,
Wow.
and 5 girls went at her. My mom said, "You do like don't." And my mom is very stern, but she is the life of the party. Anytime you meet her, she just will make you laugh. She'll sing for you. Beautiful singer. She took all 5 girls down. She grabbed them. She threw them. She rolled down a hill with them. All 5 of them got their asses handed to them. My mom was not one person to mess with. She's a survivor. Um, and I love her to death. And she told me these stories when she was younger. So when I grew up and I started mouthing off, I got the belt, I got the hand.
Yeah,
That was
man.
it, and I never spoke back after that.
Yep, exactly.
Never. And no one. I don't think anyone believes it, but a Mexican mother, dude, can just set you straight.
Yep.
I'd rather have 10 guys with crowbars chase after me, and I'm like, yeah, you guys are not as scary as what'll happen if I do this. My mom goes, take out the trash, and I go, oh, don't you dare suck your lip like that! Don't you? You are done.
Yeah, it's
And I
scary,
love her.
dude.
I love her,
It's
dude.
scary. So, I mean, because of that, I mean, I didn't want to get into trouble. So this guy was picking on me in 7th grade, and then one day I just had it, man.
To do what happened?
I just fucking had it. She sucker punched me from behind and hit me in the back of the head, and it was this thing was on,
Pussy.
yeah, this thing was ongoing for a whole month, and I turned around uh and waited for him to laugh or do something just to kind of set me off. I was just waiting for the light switch to hit. And I picked him up and body slammed him, dude.
What the hell?
Yeah. Fucking Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant style. The guy, and the
Nice.
thing is, the guy was smaller than me. This guy, I was so afraid of getting in trouble, not fighting, but getting in trouble, that he once chased me uh, out of the school before the bell even rang, and everyone watched me, dude.
Oh
And I
no.
was just like, at that point, I was like, okay, I think this is not cool. I'm gonna have to do something. But because I body slammed him so goddamn hard, dude, it got everyone's attention, including the staff. But I told the staff, I go, what were you guys when he was fucking bullying me? And they said they never saw anything. And I'm like, that's bullshit, man. So my mom got involved and drove to this kid's parents' house, man. I don't know what happened, but the kid never messed with me again, and he never came back to the school.
He never went back to
No,
school.
I don't know what the fuck my mom did, dude.
Did she come back with a shovel and a bag of lime? What the fuck
She
happened,
came
bro?
back like normal, like nothing fucking happened.
She came back like just eating a Snickers bar. She's just like,
She
you're
came
not you when you're hungry.
she
Yeah.
came back.
Mom?
She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get dinner started." She started wiping shit down, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" I'm icing my face because it's bruised.
God.
And she acted like nothing happened. I was like, "What the fuck?" I mean, I saw the kid around eventually, but I'm just like, the guy he never came back to school. And
Oh
then,
my God.
and because of that reason, okay, you talk about breaking the mold for fighting. Because of that reason, now every time there was a confrontation that I felt the need to get physical with somebody. Then I would ask, I'm like, okay, well, we're not resolving it verbally. Then okay, let's wait till the bus stops and we'll go outside on the lawn and we'll duke it out. And there was this one kid named, I think his name was Francisco. They call him Paco. We had the same crush on the same girl in 7th grade, and he just said, "Hey, you know what? That's my Kool-Aid." And he tried to, step up while this girl watched us fight. And I suplexed him, which was weird.
What the fuck, dude?
No, everyone's like, "Dude, you don't throw punches?" I'm like, "I do." I go, "But I just find it more effective if I just throw you on the ground as hard as I can because you won't get back up." And they're just like, "Whoa, man, like you're just on another level of motherfucker." And then I met my match.
You matched your meat?
Yeah, exactly. It was actually one of my friends that I physically got in a fight with. Um, his name was Raphael, and he we had we had a disagreement about something. It was actually kind of serious. I think it was because we're doing fundraising for the school, and he needed extra chocolates. We, you know, you would sell chocolates and shit. We're just selling M&Ms, whatever. He needed extra chocolates to get because he apparently he lost them or he got jacked from whatever to make up for, you know, whatever money he was supposed to turn in.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I was being nice, and he never gave me the money. I'm like, oh, well, let's go ask your mom. And all he heard was your mom.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And he's like, what did you say about my mom? I'm like, what do you mean? And then me, naive Edgar in seventh grade said, I'm like, didn't you just hear what I just said? So he said, yeah, why are you talking shit about my mom like that?
Oh
And
my
you know, back in the
god.
day, that was a big deal.
Yeah, dude, your mom thing was the biggest thing. You may have feared your mom, but you loved your mom and don't say a damn thing about her. It's a
Exactly.
little unhealthy in one respect because I mean I respect my mom, but I also kind of feared her. But it's like no one says anything bad about her except me for when I'm in my room by myself, quiet under my pillow, so she can't kick my ass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Oh my gosh.
what wound up happening, we had a group of friends were just total instigators, and one of them just turns into Paul Heyman and hypes the whole fight up. And he's like, "Hey, we'll do it in the restroom, one on one, you against him." And I'm just like, dude, my first instinct was like, "Fuck it, he wants to talk shit, let's go." And this guy was really good at punching, man. And I did not know what to do, so I just started. I mean, at first I started punching wild, but then I figured, wait a minute, this isn't working. I'm just getting myself tired. And I'm like, I'm gonna try to dodge, kind of bob. I mean, that's where the bob and weave, like,
Some head movement in there.
yeah. And it was beginning to work, but he kept catching me in the ear. And you know, when you get hit in the ear, you're
Urgh.
pretty much done, dude.
Your ears turn red and they beat
Ooh.
up, and you're just like, ugh.
So that's where I learned, and this is before I even got into any kind of boxing training. I had to throw punches literally with my bicep rubbing against my ear, so he wouldn't counter punch and hit me in the ear. And because of that reason, I kept getting him good. It's an awkward way of punching, but it's effective because if he counter punches, he can't hit you in the ear anywhere else. He'll probably hit you in the top of the head.
Yeah.
But I kept decking him, and he's like, "Whoa, something's up!" And then he decides to throw a kick.
Oh fuck, dude.
That's where he fucked up because me and you know me in professional wrestling. At that point, I was already a big Ric Flair fan. So he decides to throw a front kick, and I catch it perfectly, throw him on the ground, and executed a perfect figure four.
What the fuck, dude?
And if they wouldn't have pried me off, I probably would have broke his leg.
Oh my god.
Or
This is
if
your
not
friend
both.
too, right? This is your
Yeah,
friend.
and he to this day, I don't know how long ago it's time. He still has a limp because of that.
Fuck, dude.
He's like, you really fuck. He never forgot about that, man. He's like, dude, you really fucked me out. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. We were kids. He goes, yeah, I know. I forgot about it. He's like, how's your head? Because he knows about my head trauma that I had as a kid because he was there when it happened. Basically, I was playing tag and I tripped over. You know those cement barriers that stop you from going forward in the parking space?
There's just
You know when you pull up in at the mall or whatever, there's a cement barrier so your wheels will hit.
yeah, just the little curb thing.
Yeah,
Just
it's like a little cement curb.
yeah.
I literally tripped over my own feet and landed flat at full force, my frontal lobe on the concrete, and I blacked out. I don't remember anything. All I remember is
Jesus.
waking up in the hospital and my forehead. I look like Sloth from fucking Goonies, dude.
You had a gnarly knob on it, didn't you?
Dude, it looked so bad. I still have the
Oh
scar
my
on my
god.
forehead, and yeah, dude. And then okay, so in eighth grade, I moved. My mom moved us out because I was getting into too much trouble, and we moved to Montebello, and I attended a different school with this new attitude. So I instantly became very, I guess, very attractive to some people. and very fucking unattracted to a lot more people. So, but this was a whole new level of kid. Like I was in eighth grade, and a lot more people were bigger, dude. I remember getting to one particular fist fight in the locker room with one kid that was he looked like a man child, man. This guy just wailed on me, and he kicked my ass, dude. He kicked my ass, and I was just like, whoa, I got fucked. That was my first taste of going, shit, I got my ass kicked.
Yeah.
And I decided to fight the same kid again, man, and
What?
I lost again. And then a third time, but this time I got him in a sharpshooter, man.
What are you fucking doing,
Yeah,
bro?
I it was in they had a wrestling mat
I
at
put him in
that
a crippler
school,
crossface.
and dude, I once again I fucked up someone's leg again. The guy needed I guess he needed ACL surgery like a few weeks down.
Yeah, those moves look. I mean, they give great tension for the performers, but fuck if they do not just ruin your entire life of walking straight
Es-
lines.
Especially if you're purposely trying. That's what I'm saying. If you're purposely trying to hurt someone, yeah, you're gonna hurt them.
Oh man.
And then
You're lucky you didn't know the walls of Jericho at that point, dude.
oh
And the
no,
old school walls of Jericho where he put them on their neck.
yeah, the Boston Crab.
Dude.
Dude, I had a failed attempt at that one, but the guy kicked me in the face one time.
Yeah.
Um,
A little up kick.
yeah, man. And then eighth grade, and then the last fight I was in was an actual rumble. It was my first rumble ever. And
Like Rumble, like Jets versus Sharks a la West Side
oh,
Story
dude,
Rumble.
it was intense, man. It was something like I think I even punched one of my own guys at one point.
Oh, like a
Um,
straight up just like rowdy
yeah,
riot fight. Oh, damn. Tell me.
and then out of nowhere, I mean, I saw someone pick up a steel chair, like one of the sitting chairs, and they just whacked me in the back, and boom, I went down, dude.
Ugh.
And my first instinct was to just cover up in case he starts hitting you again, but the guy just got mauled by all these people, and I rolled over, and I was just like, "Fuck, I need a duck." I got whacked pretty hard. My back was like so bruised and battered, and I had to show my mom. My mom's like, "Man, what happened?" I'm like, "Hey," I told her the truth. Hey, there was a group of people just fighting. It was chaotic, and I had to do everything to defend myself. And my mom's like, "Okay, cool. Just know that I'm gonna put you in sports once you get to high school."
Damn.
And that's where once
You're
I
gonna
got
learn to take a chair like your mom. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
once I got to high school, she put me in sports. As soon as I got into football, then I had an outlet for it.
It's good,
Um,
man.
but that was at the freshman level. Once, because I was one of the lucky ones, quote unquote. As a sophomore, they moved me up to the varsity level. Dude, I was like a baby calf, dude, shaking. I'm not kidding. I was so scared, dude. I have
Dude,
never felt that. I was, dude, I was getting fucking tossed around like a fucking salad, man. It was humiliating. I'm like, dude, I felt violated. Like, I was like, Jesus Christ. Look, like these guys are either A, trying to just fuck with, like, they were just trying to play with their food before they ate it, or I'm just like not cutting it.
I don't think you had the like you said, you didn't have the same mindset as some of these cats coming in, man.
No, I
You don't know
didn't.
the type of lives they grew up in. Maybe they had something, they had a lot more angst or something to get out that you probably didn't have because you had I'm not saying you had an easy life in
Right.
any way, but they probably had some fucked up things they were going through.
Well, then, I mean, because I eventually wound up growing up with these guys, and then it later dawned on me, like I got to know them, their background, their story, and then their parents and their family, and I'm like, then that's when you know, fuck, I'm not alone. There's other people that have had worse shit, and they can relate to a lot of the stuff that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Um, and they're the ones that kind of changed my mold. Yeah, I mean, I was lucky to meet people like that in high school. Um, so when you compete at that kind of physical sport, like full contact sport, man, you have to have orca skin, man. Like you have to have like this big chunk, this layer of skin that you just cannot break, dude. You just have to have layer after layer after layer after layer. Um, and man, dude, there was times where I was like, dude, I'm gonna get destroyed this day. I already knew. It's one of those days you do
there's
not look
this
forward to.
there's some strong mental game that goes into that too that will put your body to the next level. But if you don't have like if you're not willing to put it on there because you're aware that it's short term, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm gonna put it through here and I'm gonna destroy everything through no pain shall enter, only excellence and success. At that point, you're gonna do that. But then you're gonna have to go back. You're gonna walk away like the Punisher. You're gonna walk away like every non super meta superhero that goes back and is like, oh, I was stabbed, I was shot, I am that's broken, and you're gonna have to deal with that shit later on.
Exactly.
And check those guys. I mean, if you're able to run into these people that you've had, an instance to learn about this like crazy, insane. I will kill everything in front of me, and look at how they look now, and how their mental state is. I feel like you're gonna find a good 80 to 90% of them not in the best physical shape, and either depression, or you're going to find a lot of kind of chaos in the mind.
Exactly. Like a lot of mixed I guess you could say it's a mixed nuts tapes, song, shuffle, uh playlist, whatever you want to call it. It's you don't know what song's gonna come on next.
Yeah.
Like it's really strange. And then after that, then I would meet different student athletes in different sports, especially the wrestlers, dude. And I never got to join wrestling because I got so good at track and field with discus and shot put that all they put all the eggs in the basket with me at that school. So I couldn't, they're like, no, there's no that, but that's the other thing. It was a double standard. Like I couldn't join another sport because of that reason. Um, so, but I mean, I grew close to them. And then that's when I was going to judo. I took some jujitsu classes because it was similar to professional wrestling submissions. I was like, oh, okay, this is not a huge learning curve. I go, but I do have to be a lot more flexible. That's when I learned, the Kimura, the triangle choke, the rear naked choke, a couple leg locks and stuff like basic stuff, right?
I feel like jujitsu, yeah, the really good the submissions, and they always talk about from training. I remember saying it's position before submission. You make sure you have your dominant position wherever you're at, either on the ground or up above,
Right.
in mount or side, whatever it is. But um, I really feel that the main part of jujitsu is ethereal. It's the transitions. It's everything that's not a submission or a hold. Everything in that in between. That's where the sweet spot is. Because if you can do that, it doesn't matter what anybody does to you. You know how to move out of it already, and just continue to flow, continue to move. And that's something that I really couldn't grasp 100%. I started to, but then I had a back injury, and
Oh, it's almost guaranteed if you roll in jiu well, if you do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you will definitely fuck up your back.
yeah, I've been out over 2 years now, like 2.5 years. I haven't gone back.
Dude,
Just
the lucky ones don't get that. Yeah, they don't. They're lucky they don't get that, dude. But fuck, man, like I honestly think that because of that experience that I had with martial arts, I mean, I learned a lot of. I could have been. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the most disciplined person, but I would have been so much more rebellious and undisciplined than than ever, man.
yeah.
Um, but then again, there's the contrary, man. I see some people that get into it and they just become total nutcases, man. Total nutcases.
It's a fine line that martial arts will help you to focus your mind. It definitely is a lot about self development. But there's two things. One is building on top, is adding skill to a being that doesn't necessarily understand themselves. I really think an important essence of martial arts is to discover who you are, truly, understand yourself, and then those skill sets are just, again, they're secondary. I can throw a punch, I can throw a kick, I can do a takedown, I can put a submission on, but it's that space in between that part that's not really noticed, that goes, oh, I'm going to go from this move to this next move, but in that space in between, that you might find out a little bit more about yourself, when you're not thinking. And some people will just take the skills and use them to fuck other people up, but I used it, and it sounds like you did, to capture a little bit of that discipline, to check yourself, to listen and say, I can see a difference between someone who's maliciously trying to hurt people versus someone who is going to put a sharpshooter on a friend because they're young, because they're not trying to break their face off.
Wow. Holy shit.
I really think that's what it is. And for me, I mean, that's why I look at fighting the way that I do. It's not about trying to hurt somebody. It may be a bit trying to dominate them. Even if I dominate you in a fight, my skill may be greater than you, but is that the subject that we're so angry at each other? No. So the fight is the in between. That's the in between. Martial arts or any type of like physical sport you put yourself in, it should help you to try to find out who you are. Because at some point you can't practice martial art. You can't be the football star. You can't be the wrestling star, because at some point your body will fail, and all you're left with is what you've learned through every transition and every move. Are you going to be the one that taps, or are you the one that's going to be there on top dominating?
Exactly. Precisely, man. But fuck, man, it's like, I don't know, man. Like this, I'm telling you, this whole thing with Joel CARVALHO just really sparked a bunch of shit that I wanted to fucking just talk to someone about. And I'm like, okay, it's either Mr. Sychosane or somebody else, and I couldn't find anyone else. And perfect, all the stars and the moon aligned.
Heck yeah,
just perfect. And I'm like, fuck it, you gave me some insight. So
just a little bit. Hopefully, I don't sound like I said. I'm not an expert on anything. I just, I like something that Bill Burr says all the time. He says, "I don't read books. I don't read." So, like, don't take anything that he says as truth. All I have to offer is always just my experiences and what I take from it. That's it. And I could be completely wrong in your mind. It's all perspective, man. But there were two different styles trying to find a common ground. That's it.
Yeah, that's the beauty of collaboration, is that, fuck, man, like if you know for a fact that someone knows something about that you want to talk about, that I'm like, hey, maybe I could, get this person to get more insight on what I'm trying to spotlight here. So but fuck, man, like, man, dude, I don't know, man. I think that a lot of people just have no idea. See, here's the thing, Jaime. I'm not judging these people, but fuck, man, for someone to say, "Oh, I'm not into sports. I never watched the sports." I'm like, okay, I understand it, but is there no appreciation for it? That's the other thing too that I kind of question. I'm like, okay, if you're not into sports, do you even know what it is? Do you know for example, like, I'll give you an example, and to this day, my wife gives me shit about, like, oh, just drop it. That's stupid. I'm sure he was just playing whatever. But when her and I went to go see Joe Rogan at the Ice House, right? We met up with him. He was outside signing autographs and stuff. And surprisingly, there was not a whole lot of people going up to him, but he was outside talking shit. And I wore one of my New England Patriots jerseys that happens to be Aaron Hernandez's number 81.
All right.
And everyone knows the story behind that guy. And I'm talking to this guy, and I look at Joe. We take pictures. And I'm like, hey, you like the jersey? And I'm like, because I know he spent time in Boston, so you would probably know what I'm wearing and what the team is. And I was hoping he was a fan. But he looks at me seriously. He's like, man, I don't even like football. And I was like,
oh my God, what happened?
I was like, dagger in the heart, no.
Oh man.
And since then, I was just like, fuck, I know.
Did you have like a final destination moment where, like, freaking just like buildings started exploding around you, and then people were sucked up into UFOs, and just all of a sudden you flash back, and he just is about to say that, you're like, I know what's about to happen.
Dude,
He's about to break my fucking heart.
I saw Donald Trump get elected, into president, being inaugurated. That's what happened.
And I will make them build a wall.
I was like, "Fuck this! This guy just broke my heart, man."
I'm sorry, bro.
No, and then I know when he has Bill Burr on his podcast, he's like, "Dude, I always tune out when you start talking about the Patriots," and I'm just like, "Fuck, dude! Like, do you hate it that much?" I'm like, "Do you at least know what it does?" I mean, I know people that have a clue at least as to who the players are, at least the big ones, what city they're in. Like I remember funny story, Kyle confused the Chicago Bears with the Chicago Cubs.
Okay.
And
A
I'm
baseball
like,
team with a football team, right?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm like, okay, you're close. I go a Cub, Bear, Cub,
Stop, bear, stop, bear, stop, bear, stop, bear, stop, bear, stop, bear, stop, bears. Football. Cubs ain't win shit because of the goat curse. I know.
Oh man, I swear it was something that it's forgiving. At least he knows he's in the ballpark. But when someone says I just don't like the sport, I'm like, okay, well, I wanted to ask him why, but a part of me was like, nah, don't even bother. There's a lot of creeper fans that are looking they're eager just to bombard him with different conspiracy questions and God knows what. I'm like, I'll just let them, whatever.
Hey, I claim again never to be an expert in anything in particular. And for me, for all honesties too, sports. When I say sports, I talk about tennis, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, curling. I don't pay attention to sports at all. I don't know the teams that are in. Like today, I think my wife goes, oh, the Dodgers. I think she said, oh, the Dodgers lost today, and I'm like, I understand that she knows I don't watch sports, but my response was, oh, are they still a thing? They're still a team? Like just to be an asshole, because that's how I am. But I don't pay attention to it. But here's the thing. People say like, oh, I'm so glad you don't watch football all the time. You don't watch this, and you're not like, you don't have the DirecTV package and this over here, and you don't have the jerseys, because, that'd be a lot of time and money and effort to put into that type of hobby or passion or viewership. And I go, but football, I love to play it. I was a band nerd in high school, but whenever I got a chance, all the big guys would go out and go play football out in the field, and just straight up, tackle football, no pads, and just let's throw the ball and go. And I was always the running back, because I didn't care who I hit. I would run as fast and sprint, a big 200-pound guy.
Exactly.
And it was fun. But as far as watching sports, knowing players, controversies, I feel bad, like I'm breaking your heart possibly. I know I'm no Joe Rogan, but
here's the thing is, I mean, that's a Joe Rogan caliber. You figured if he goes deeper into the rabbit hole of mixed martial arts, he probably goes into any other, at least more full contact sport, and goes, he'll know exactly what's going on. But for me, I don't expect anyone to know as much. Dude, I know stats from like 1974.
You're like Al Bundy in a lot of ways.
I am.
Really feel that you are, and I feel like I'm like your spirit animal, in that I'm also like Al Bundy, but more like the third and fourth season. You're more like the original season, that you got that like, fuck, this is the real Al Bundy right here, right here.
It's like, I mean, I know that obviously everyone's like, oh, you should be a newscaster, you should be in on ESPN or something. I'm like, well, a lot of those people get fed through an earpiece. I don't know if people know that now.
They should know that by now.
They do. There's a reason why they have even the professional athletes that, yeah, they might have charisma, they have a good ego in front of the camera, but when it comes to data and information, they don't know a whole lot, so they get fed through that earpiece, and That's all they do. They get fed through the earpiece and they splurt it right out. That's what they're doing with UFC now
Dude,
too.
that's what we're doing with news stories across
Yeah.
different syndications, man.
Yep.
Fox across different. It's the same. Have you seen that through Conan
Oh
O'Brien?
yeah. Oh
Dude,
yeah.
come on. And it's got to be the same with any type of mainstream type of news. Even your sports are getting watered down. I want to hear from the person who doesn't have the earpiece in. I want to hear it from a deaf person. I want to hear from somebody who's never seen the sport. You know what? I'm going to ask my dog. Give me a second. Sparky. Sparky. Okay. Yeah, he's going to tell me the story right now. And I may have woken up the entire house. Go to sleep, boy. I'm just saying, I mean, like, don't be fed something through your ear and then repeat the shit. Unless you're trying to be a good mimic, but are you listening to it, didn't even say it, and like process it and then give your own spin on it and then spurt it out. But not straight up mimic or dictated machine, or don't just be a stenographer in the court, man.
Man, I think that's what what it is now. It's not going to be anything but syndication now. Like, even if you do know, if you're the human fact check, man, seriously, they'll still give you something else to feed the audience, because that's exactly the type of conditioning that's going on now. And it's sad, but that's exactly what's happening. And a lot of people either leave or pursue different ventures. And if you're smart like Joe Rogan, you'll start a podcast and get it popular because of that. So he's in a sweet position right now where he can quit commentating for the UFC, and he'll be, dude. Have you seen the heavy hitters he's had on his podcast, man? Fuck.
Well, I mean, Bill Burr is, for me, is like he's one of my favorite comedians. To have him on there, I
Well,
think that's
shit,
it's
man.
huge, man.
He has Shane Smith from Vice a lot, dude. Shane Smith. I don't know if you're familiar with Vice.
Vice is a place where you put people's heads in and you spin. Oh, that's a Vice grip. Never mind. What is
Yes.
Vice? Tell me.
Vice grip. That is intense. Vice is it started off as a magazine. It turned into its own animal in Brooklyn, New York, and they started filming all kinds of shit. The first time I got wind of Vice is when this guy Shane Smith, when he had longer hair, he went to North Korea, dude.
Oh, that's okay. That's right.
Yeah. He went to North Korea, saw how creepy and weird it was over there, and
was that around the same time that freaking the God sent president showed up?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Yeah. And I saw that, and he went to Chernobyl. And I was just like, damn, okay, he got that company eventually got my attention. But they're pushing the envelope, man. I think they set the standard for what type of, I guess, I'm not saying news and media, but what type of matters should be exposed globally for everyone to understand what's going on in the world. Well, anyway, Joe Rogan has him on the podcast. At least I've heard a lot of them, and they're pretty fucking interesting, man. He's had Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's had
astrophysicist. All right.
Yeah, he's had what's his name? Oh, he's had a lot of the fighters. He has Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen a lot on the show. Brian Callen is an actor. He's the one. I know you've seen The Hangover, right? The movie.
Yeah.
Brian is the one that plays the guy that owns the wedding chapel. He speaks in a funny accent, like an Armenian accent, kind of.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture his face. I wonder if what else he's been in. That's what I'm wondering.
He used to be on Matt TV.
I remember Matt TV.
Yeah, he was.
Oh no, I know who you're talking about now. Okay.
Yeah, that guy. He's on there a lot. Brendan Schaub, of course. which is I don't like to say this a whole lot because people don't believe me, but my last year at Whittier College, he was on that squad that I was playing on. He was, I believe he was a tight end and a defensive end. But dude, this guy back that was in 2000, 2001, 2002 roughly. Yeah, that guy was, I can see either A, this guy was going to go to the NFL, or B, he was going to do something professionally. I didn't know what it was, and I found out later. Um, but he's had see, that's what I mean. The guy's smart. He knew exactly. He used his opportunity to not only was he a face on Fear Factor, but then in the UFC, and he spun it from there and got his own shit going on. And to think, dude, he publicly, smokes pot, and he's a UFC employee, which is weird. But I know the commentators don't, they don't
Well,
get.
he's not a fighter, man. He doesn't have to worry about being tested for anything necessarily. It depends on their employee handbook for what position you're in for. Pretty sure one position doesn't give a fuck, and the other one says, "Yeah, don't inject steroids and cocaine right before a fight, please."
Exactly. But I mean that's a whole different story, dude. But
Yeah.
well, anyway, man, I think dude, it's an hour and a half. That's exactly what I like to shoot for.
Oh.
There'll be more we'll talk about, man. But I just wanted to get your insight on this particular subject because it was pretty interesting to me. Not his death, but the whole professional sports and
Where it's going and where it might go, and how much we're
yes.
being prepared and kind of combed and conditioned towards it.
Exactly.
No, I see what you're saying, man.
But yeah, man, thanks for being on the fucking podcast.
Dude, it was a fucking blast, dude. I love what we're talking about
for
here.
all of you listening, it's Sychosane at Namrok podcast. We actually collaborate on a track. It's called Winter is Coming. We have it out on YouTube. I'll actually paste the link when I share this video on all the social media networks, so y'all can listen.
Oh, you excited? I'm excited, man.
I'm excited.
Wait.
And again, Ed Namrok podcast signing out. We'll see you guys soon, and I'm pretty sure I'll have Mr. Sychosane on the podcast again. See you guys later.
Thanks, Ed.